caffeine and conversation, just a bit of mental masturbation. Sit and pour a cup of joe, it ain't your average morning show. Here's Walker!
What's up there, people? Wake Up with Walker is officially on the air. Mr. Madigan, how are you?
Hey, what's happening, man? I made it just in the nick of time.
Yeah, you did.
Literally just in the nick of time.
Yeah, I normally start this off with a soundtrack for the day, and today's going to be no different. Got some White Witch, 1970s Southern prog rock. This thing right here, Stoner's Dream. Let's see.
I don't know if I ever heard that.
You know, I didn't hear. I had never heard of it until I came across it in an old record shop, and it looked interesting, and I picked it up and took it home, and it was great.
Nice.
Josh Carter, how you doing, brother? Good morning.
It shows here we got two in the waiting.
Let's see.
So what else we got going on today, buddy?
Well,
starting the jams.
What we got going on today is as you can tell from the tagline of the show title, fall is coming, and everybody loves fall. Well, anybody who's sane, and wanted to talk about some fall stuff today for a bit. What's up, Marcus? How you doing? Fall season is a big season for everything from beard products to caps, flannels, movies, and it's my favorite time of year. So the first thing I wanted to ask anybody who cares to answer is, what is your favorite thing about the fall that you love? What draws you to the fall season? Is it, hoodies and bonfires? Is it beard products? Is it flannels? Is it horror movies? For me, it's a mix of things. It's first and foremost, it's the flannels. Honestly, I love wearing my flannels during the fall. And I'm just itching to get into my collection that's sitting in my closet. What about you, man?
Me, probably my birthday and horror. Those are my favorite parts. Usually try and combine the two. You do like Halloween BDs, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I love the whole thing, man. Spooky season, the whole night. But for me, horror and spooky season's 365.
Well, I figured horror would be your number one.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, I know people that hate the fall. Absolutely hate it. They live for summer. They live for, going to the Bahamas and shit.
Yeah. My only problem with the fall is that they started too damn early. Well, not this as a show, but I mean even the stores and shit 2 weeks ago was already back to school shit. So man, can we enjoy the damn summer before we're talking about pumpkin spice and shit? You know what I mean? But it's good to talk about plan for it. But when you're going down the store aisles and you're trying to buy shock for your pool in Walmart, and you can't find it no more because now it's pencils and notebooks, and it's August 2nd. It's They drive me nuts with that crap. But I'm going but don't make me go on an old man rant about that.
Hey, man. Yeah, Josh, man, nothing better than sitting out on my porch having a cup of coffee on a crisp morning. That's for sure.
Sorry about the glare in my face too.
That's all right, man. Now I agree with you. I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, Halloween all year round. I can't do that. I'm not built that way. But it's like with the whole Christmas thing. Right after Halloween, you got Christmas trees and decorations being sold at Walmart, and I'm like, we haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet.
I know. Yeah, they start way too early with that crap, man. All of it. You know what I mean? Some stores will even have Christmas out before even Halloween's over. You know, it's like Jesus, man.
Chris King, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, Chris? We got Delmer. We got Delmer in the green room too to bring on whenever you're ready, whenever you want to do that. But
we will bring him on here shortly. One of the things that I find interesting about the whole seasonal thing when it comes to stores and shit is, it keeps every year, it keeps getting longer and longer that the stuff is in the stores. It's like when I was coming up as a kid and into my 20s, Christmas stuff wasn't put out until maybe, November 28th. Now, soon as Halloween's over, bam, it's there.
Yeah. It's just everything's way too early. That's how I am. I'm a Christmas starts like Thanksgiving week kind of guy. To me, it's like from there, boom, on. We used to get our tree like a day or two after, take him to the Christmas tree farm, and then have that month or whatever. That's how I always been, man. Like Thanksgiving,
Yeah, well, see,
Christmas.
And that's the thing for me is Thanksgiving and Christmas kind of go hand in hand, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We always, when I was growing up, Thanksgiving was over. Then you had Black Friday. They did the Christmas shopping. And the day after Black Friday, we were going and looking at Christmas trees,
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of how we do it. That either Black Friday or the day after, we'll be out there at the tree farm. You know what I mean? Picking one up. The kids used to go to this one where we would saw it down and walk out there at the cart and all that. So, that became like a tradition. I mean, last couple years.
I'm old enough to remember going out into the woods behind my house and my dad cutting down a Christmas tree.
Right. Yeah.
It was almost kind of like Clark Griswold,
Yeah.
Started with Black Friday and now it's crazy, brother. I'm telling you. I'll tell you what, we got our scallywag of the week on deck. We're going to bring him on. Delmer. Let's go. Let's see. If I can get this going. Come on, Delmer. Add the stage. There we go.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Just chilling on a Saturday, home for the weekend.
Oh, yeah? Home for the weekend is always good.
Yeah, well, I've been going way out to West Texas the last 2 months, working at one of our mines out there, just leaving early Monday, coming back Friday. So I try to be as lazy as I can.
That's it. Yeah, you got to give yourself a break, man.
That's a week right there.
Yeah, it's like a 5.5 hour drive
Wow.
just to get there. And then, we usually leave about 10:30 so we can beat traffic. Because for some reason in Texas, like they like to put all the freeways at one meeting point, which is downtown. I don't know how it is in other places, but they do it in Texas, and it's like 35 wants to go this way and this way, but nobody wants to be in the right lane. So you got jackasses cutting over 4 lanes of traffic to get to where they need to go so they can get on their exit, and it stops everything. So leave
Sounds
early
like
enough to
Atlanta.
beat that.
Yeah,
Sounds like
Jersey,
Atlanta.
Yeah, Jersey too. Jersey's a screwed up place between jug handles, circles, roads crossing over each other. I mean, not where I'm at now. It's a little more laid back, but man, up north, man, Jersey's a pain in the ass. But listen, man, I wanted to say congratulations, man. We talked about it. Appreciate you, man. Always being in not just Scallywags, but all the groups, man. I see you popping up and you're supporting, showing love, sharing, doing all that. Being a great member, man.
Absolutely.
So that's why I definitely wanted to pick you for Scallywag of the Week, and like I said, I'll get that mug set up for you so you can get that sent out. So
You deserve the praise, brother.
Oh, I appreciate it. I mean, this is about it'll sound weird because it sounds like I don't have a life, but this is like the extent of my social circle here is like the groups and everything. So, because I just don't have time for nothing else to go out or to, do anything. So I just come home and, I pop up, I see how everybody's doing, and, so it works.
that's cool. Yeah, it's a big part of my social circle anymore too, man. Tell you the truth, it's like I check in on the groups, and then it's like I miss a lot of other stuff going on in the world around me. By the time I'm done checking in with everything, man, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. I try to post first thing in the morning because once I get to the site and I'm on the equipment, I don't ever get a chance to hardly ever look at anything. So I pop in, then I disappear for the day, and then that's that.
Well, your posts are usually the first ones I see in the morning. So, you're always there, and we appreciate all the support and the participation, man.
Well, I appreciate it, but I appreciate you guys too. Everything you do, and just just the groups. You guys, especially you two. You two were like one of the first ones I ever saw when I joined Bearded Scalawags. I mean, I know it's Sean had come up, DL, you've been part of it since the beginning as well. And you guys are always just positive and, give people props and just good people. So, I like to, stick around with good people. So,
well, and that's the thing. That's the thing. When people get the recognition that they deserve, and when you show appreciation to people, not only does that make them feel good, but it also, I think, it builds the community. It lets people kind of rally around each other, and it's an important aspect of something like Bearded Scallywags or Demented Ones, or Tameless Tallow Tyrants, where you got to show these people that are in these groups that they are more than just a face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that all the way. So
yeah, plus too, I want to start eventually getting meetups going and stuff. Well, actually, I'm debating on within a year or probably about a year moving to Texas. Now I'm just trying to find out which spot, because I got friends all over it, and everybody says their spot's the best. So I have to figure out what spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on, if you move down here, you'll realize that the state, it's prideful. Like people that are from here or have lived here. Like I'm from California originally, but I've lived out here all my adult life. I have no plans on ever going back.
Right.
So it just depends on, if you're people from Houston will tell you Houston's better than everywhere. People from San Antonio will tell you that, if I live around the San Antonio area now, So they'll tell you it's better. Dallas, they brag about all their stuff. So then there's Austin, which it's kind of its own little world. I should probably have a wall built around it, but
Well,
it doesn't.
Austin has become the hipster capital of Texas.
No, it's always been like, it's weird because, the state's very red, when it comes to its politics and its voting. I'm not trying to get political. I'm not, but Austin's like on a different spectrum. It's been that way for years.
I'm even just talking about the music scene and,
oh yeah.
The last time I was in Austin was even years ago, and just passing through, and it was nothing but guys walking around in skinny jeans and handlebar mustaches and riding scooters, and I was like, really?
Well, those scooters have bled out from Austin and have made their way to other. Because I got two of my kids live down by Corpus, and so I went down and saw them, and my youngest and I had gone out her and I went out to lunch, and we were walking around, an area down there, and those scooters they're all over the place now. So it's bleeding out a little bit.
Well, and let me just say, there's nothing wrong with a handlebar mustache. That's not what I was saying. But it's Austin has become this, everybody's trying to be cool town. And I'll tell you, my favorite town in Texas is El Paso.
Dude, I love El Paso. I mean, it gets a bad like little like rap, but El Paso is actually pretty. It's decent. Like, it's not that bad at all. I mean, I prefer living like down by Corpus, like if I had to pick an area, but the job is where it's at. So obviously, logistics wise, it's better to live up by San Antonio than it is,
Right.
That's kind of the area that intrigues me the most. I was looking at first over like Conroe area, and I might still, but then on southeast there, like Houston or whatever. But like San Antonio really seems like a spot I'd like to go. I want to go somewhere. I don't want to go North Texas where it's going to be. Well, I guess some cold hit all of Texas last year, but I ain't trying to see too many more Northeast winters. So I'd rather be down south, and as less winter as possible. Josh Carter said, I'm fond of the Gulf Coast, and Chris King said, yeah, until the hurricane comes in. Well, that's the thing. Out where Melissa is, has been nothing but storms and rains and hurricanes and floods.
Yeah. Well, she's out.
I like that area, I think.
Yeah, she's out. I think she's in Cleveland. Cleveland's in East Texas, so
yeah.
Which that's a decent area of the state too. Like, I because I drove trucks for a little bit, so I got to, I did some over the road driving until my sleep apnea took me out of that equation.
I'm going
I went to go get my renewal for my medical card, and they didn't want to renew it because they said my machine wasn't working the way it was supposed to. And I'm like, I don't see how that's possible, because I went from waking up every 2 hours to sleeping all night. But I guess they're the doctor, so they knew what they were talking about. I guess the data that comes from it, they didn't like the numbers, so they wouldn't renew my medical card for me.
Well, mine, I was kind of non-compliant with it, so then they made me go through this whole process, But I told them I was going through bronchitis and sinusitis. I said my whole head was clogged. I had to have my ears flushed out. I couldn't breathe in the chest, and my regular doctor said to just get off it for a little while, because I'm like, Doc, it's like a hurricane going down my throat, and everything else is clogged, And, But then DOT hammered me with it, but At least they didn't revoke me. They had to put me on a 1 month. Now I'm on a 3 month. And then if I'm 80%, 70% after the 3 month, then I'll get the year card again. But it's what a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah, no, if they don't like if they don't like what they see, they will not. Yeah. And I mean, they offered to do that for me too, and kind of put me like on like a 1 month or what have you. And so they did give me that 1 month card, but then when I got back to where I was driving, I found out because I'd come back home, so I was driving locally, and then I found out I was getting laid off. And I was like, well, the hell with it. So I ended up going back to the prison for like working there for like another 5.5 years, and then got into the mining industry, and I've been here ever since.
Nice.
Well, quite frankly, the mining industry is a good industry to be in.
It has treated me well. It really has. I mean, I don't do like not underground mining or anything. We start surface mining and dig big old pits into the ground to get what we need, but it's been decent. And, I get to play, I get to work the heavy equipment. So, it's like being the kid playing with the big metal Tonka toys. Now I get to play with the real ones in real life. So
that's fun. Now, let me ask you, Dahmer, real quick, what we were hitting on earlier. Are you a fall guy, a winter guy? What are you?
I am a fall and winter person. I mean, I am a fat boy for one. So the heat, and I mean, like the heat, I survived the heat, but even as a kid, I always preferred fall and winter. I did. I like anything that, probably my favorite day of the year is when that first fall morning hits, that first real crisp morning. That's my favorite day of the year, because then I realize that
everything's about to change.
Yeah. I mean, now in Texas, though, we can get 2 or 3 different first fall days of the year.
Yeah. Oh, well, Jersey, too. Jersey's bipolar. It was 100-something degrees a couple days ago with the heat index, and I woke up this morning, it was 58.
Yeah. The winters have been weird around here lately. It's like you were saying, it kind of comes down to, like the winter hit all of Texas, last year, which it did. I mean, it snowed last year in a good chunk of the state. And I've in the near 30 years I've lived here, I have only seen it snow twice, at least where I live.
Well, San Antonio is further down, right? Like, so you're pretty much down there in the south, right?
Yeah. Now, I mean, they get more snow up like in the Panhandle, but that's Lubbock, and I mean, it'll get cold up there, So yeah, if you're looking to stay warm, definitely move further south. Not Dallas, because they still get cold up there. Just Austin or below, your winters will be mild. I mean, you'll get some good cold days, but you can have 2 weeks of cold weather, and then you'll have a week where the low is 65 and the high is 85.
Right.
Well, in Georgia, it's so weird because, the summers here, it's hotter than Satan's ball sack. And, like right now, it's a gray, gloomy day. And it's, I walked out this morning. I got up at 4 a.m. I walked out at about 4:15 in the morning with my first cup of coffee, and it was 78 degrees and muggy, and I was just like, Jesus, but then the winters, it's just bipolar down here, because you'll have 80-degree day on Christmas Eve, and then 3 days later it's snowing. It's insane.
Yeah.
Man. When we get snow down here, I'm sure it's the same way in Texas. When we get snow here, everybody freaks out. Everybody attacks the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
It's like the apocalypse is happening.
Shit, they even do that in Jersey, man. They even do that in Jersey. I'm watching people come out of the store with like 5 loaves of bread and like 3 gallons of milk. I'm like, what are you possibly going to be snowed in for a day, if that?
Hey,
like,
brother, they need to make their milk sandwiches.
Yeah, damn right. God.
Well, like here, if they think it'll freeze, or if there's they'll shut the freeways down.
Right.
Like, because Texans, like they can't drive on the ice, and I mean, so like if it like even or I mean it happened like a few years ago, like when it really did freeze. I mean they shut everything down. I mean, they had cops at the entrance ramps that were stopping people from getting on like the 35 and the 37 because they were like, no, just go back home.
Let me tell you how crazy it was a couple years ago. We got about 4 inches of snow, maybe 5. I grew up in Connecticut. I grew up in Connecticut where, you got literally, you could get 4 feet of snow. And my wife said, hey, we need to get some, stuff at the store. I said, I got this. I got in my SUV, started driving. I can drive in this shit, no problem. I get about 4 miles down the road and I get pulled over by a cop. And the cop walks up to my car and it's still snowing out. And he looks at me and says, what are you doing? I said, I'm driving to the store. He goes, why are you out here in this weather? And I was like, because I'm 54 years old and I'm an adult, and he told me right before he got back in his car, he looks at me, he goes, all right, get to the grocery store, get what you need to get home. And I'm like, seriously? I mean, and that same year, what they started doing down here is for the schools, if they deem that it's too cold, they'll keep the kids home. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I used to walk to school in, minus 10 weather. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, they started doing that. I think they did that. I think they started that last year in Texas as well. Like if it was below a certain temperature, they didn't, they wouldn't let them go to school. And I died laughing. Like, I was like, really? Man, because I lived in Colorado for like 5 years when I was a kid, and I lived up around the mountains, so it snows. And I mean, unless there was like an avalanche or something coming, you went to school. There was no, you get a day off because it's too snowy.
That's how it was in Connecticut.
If anything, you started school a little later, but you still went to school. Now, if it's 25 degrees, they're like, nah, no schools, take a day off.
Yep.
All right, guys, we got a lot going on in the comments. Let me read a few of these real quick because we're
all right
on that. Chris King, Delmer, you lucky fucker, with a couple of emojis, and also said, what was it about the? The South don't know about them minus 30 degree wind chill days like us Yankees. You're right about that. That's
Marcus over here saying, let them play Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail, Jesus. And Marcus also said titty babies. What the hell was that? Marcus, what? Hold on.
Yeah, and I apologize. I'm not really good with scrolling the comments and stuff. I try, but Marcus, yes, you're right. Bunch of titty babies.
Oh, okay, I get what he's saying now. I saw that too, and I was like, I'm lost, but it takes me a minute sometimes to pick up on things.
I didn't get it either. All right, I get it now. But all right, guys, I'm gonna have to bounce off here in a minute and actually work. But I wanted to pop
Damn
in
it.
and say what's what. And but yeah, if you don't mind though, you mind if I just go over the show tomorrow real quick, Walker, before I bounce on out of here, so everybody knows what's what.
Yeah. My show is your show, my friend.
All right, so tomorrow night, man, it's gonna be a great show. We got Chris Lopp, Funky Brims. It's gonna be a great show. That giveaway, check out that giveaway in Scallywags, man. It's in the announcement pin section. Hop in there, follow it up, man. And if you're watching this and not subscribed, man, throw a subscribe, man. Do us a solid like that, man. But the Menace show is gonna be great tomorrow. Chris Lopp, we're gonna talk about hats. I think we got a little bit of a surprise guest. We might have a little follow up with Chris Todd and something that popped really big for him over the last few days. So we're going to talk about, and of course all the horror and other stuff we got too, man. So
let me just interject real quick. I'm not kidding when I say this, guys. This giveaway that Chris is doing for Funky Brims, it's smoking.
yeah, it's a good giveaway. That's a solid cap. It's the cap that's a collaboration with Hales Flannels. So. And I think he's going to have some more news coming up with stuff like that too. So it's really going to be a great show to check out. That's about it, man. So, and Delmer, thanks again, man, for all you've been doing in the groups, man. Appreciate you, brother. Walker, appreciate you. I'll be listening when I can in the truck here, but I got to get back and actually load this shit.
All right, brother. Don't work too hard. Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Be good. Drive safe.
Much love. Keep it scallywag. Beat a minute.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, man.
Hold on a sec. I almost just ended the whole damn stream. Hold on. All right, now. I was picking a button. I almost, swear to God, I almost just ended the whole damn thing by accident. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Now, I'll tell you, Delmer, one of the companies I was going to talk about today, I wanted to know if you had ever tried. It's a company called Bomb Drop Body.
No. I've been pretty exclusive to Tameless, Flaming Beard, and then after the Demented ones last week, I ordered some Valhalla Beard and Body, so trying those out. I'm slowly working my way through, but I'm very much a creature of habit. When I find something that I really like, it's hard to get me off of it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I feel you on that. I mean, I've got my standard rotation of companies, Tameless, Valhalla, Flaming Beard, Bones, Beard and Body, Black Manor. But as a reviewer, I have to try new stuff.
Yeah.
And I found this company through Facebook called Bomb Drop Body Care. And let me tell you something, man. Absolutely fantastic. And I ordered a couple of oils, and I decided I wanted to. They got this lotion, man. I have very dry skin, and I got this lotion. It's some of the best lotion I've tried. The other lotion I use is from Bones, Beard and Body, but this is a good runner-up. And anybody who has super dry skin, I highly suggest it. So there's my plug for the day.
Okay. Oh, I'll have to check them out because, like the Flaming Beard, I got based off of yours and Sean's reviews. The same with Tameless, because there for a while I was using the store bought oils. And while for me, everybody's different. Some will work for you, some won't. It just depends on the hair composition or what have you. While in the mornings they would work well, but by the afternoon it would feel real dry and everything. And
gone, and your beard feels like hay. Yeah.
So, but then when I joined Bearded Scallywags and I was watching, listening to you and Sean and some of the others that would, review these products, that's why I started with Tameless, because, she was dropping some really great scents. And, you and Sean were like, this stuff is like on point. And I was like, well, if they say it's on point, and 100%, like, and I ordered from her for a while. But then she would talk about Flaming Beard. You would talk about Flaming Beard. Sean was talking about Flaming Beard and how good it was. Like, well, now I got to try that one. So
yeah,
I got it.
Let me just say good morning, Phil. Now the thing about Tameless is it's funny because I wouldn't have never known about Tameless. I was in another group and I won a contest.
Oh, nice.
And I the very first contest she ever had, and I won a contest for best bed beard. It was all messed up. And she sent me some absolute fire, man. And I just got hooked. And now, like, sitting on my shelf, I've got like, probably 10 Tameless oils, and I've got probably 15 bars of soap sitting on my shelf from her, and the beard blob and all that, and just she's crushing it, man.
Yeah. Melissa is definitely on point. She does not miss. I mean, everything that she puts out is just like, 100%. Just for me, it's perfect. So I mean, it makes the beard feel soft, makes it feel nice. The scent lasts a long time. I mean, and there are times where, I'm not in my equipment and I'm out and I'm working, and I've, been able to sit there and still at the end of the day catch a faint, scent of, the beard oil that I put on at 4:30 in the morning before I walked out of the house.
That's always a good day right there.
Yeah.
Now, Marcus just asked what my take on a company called Valor Hood is. Valor Hood is a company out of New Jersey. And they have the only beard conditioner that I use. It is absolutely the only beard conditioner that I use. It is the best beard conditioner I've ever tried. Their oils are good. I'd rate their oils probably a 6.5 to 7 out of 10 as far as, how much I like them. But their conditioner is a 10 out of 10 for me. And it would take something extremely special for me to switch companies when it comes to conditioners. So, Marcus, that's what I think of Valor Hood. And you mentioned Valhalla. I'm actually wearing Valhalla this morning. And Delmer, if you haven't tried this, it's called Tears Wrath. You want a punchy scent that'll last you all day? That one right there will. It's lime, black pepper, and patchouli.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, like I ordered the I'm wearing Valhalla too. That's kind of funny. But I'm doing the Berserker Fury. That's the one that I saw that, kind of caught my eye. And man, I mean, this one's good. I mean, like I like you really get the cedarwood and the wintergreen, scent when you put it in. And I like that because I'm a big fan of like nature scents, wood and leaves and so stuff like that. Not so much on the tobacco. I mean, I don't mind it as long as it's not like, to me, overpowering. I'm cool with that. But if it's any kind of like nature or something like that, then I'm definitely gonna try it out.
Oh, me too. Chris, damn, now I got another one I gotta try. Yes, you do. The funny thing is, and that's why I love fall scents, is because everybody's like, when fall comes around, they're all like, ooh, pumpkin spice, and they want candied apple, and they want me. I'm like, give me burning dried leaves, uh, you know, a fresh forest, and maybe a little hint of sweetness with some like, underlying like bourboned apple. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
now, do I like pumpkin spice? There are some pumpkin scents I like. Valhalla had one that was absolutely amazing called Friggin' Pumpkin. Uh, the new one that he's got coming out for the fall, uh, probably one of the best pumpkin scents I've ever smelled, and it's not real heavy on the pumpkin. So, fall, that's my earthy time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll
I
tell you
mean,
what, that Berserker's Fury, fantastic throughout the winter too, with that wintergreen.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, especially like if I can get soaps that have, that redwood scent or that, cedar wood or what have you, I jump on those. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, if it's fall season, I'm looking for fall scents, and plus, to go with the other stuff. Because the way I've been doing like my beard stuff lately is like one week I'll use Tameless all week long. Then I'll switch it up and use Flaming Beard. Now that I've got some Valhalla, I'll switch that in there too. So,
Well,
and yeah, and I'm like that with Chris now. Great. Now I got to try out another one. So,
and Chris just said commercial retail has killed my need for any pumpkin spice.
well, yeah, I get that too. I mean, it's kind of like, before I came in, I was, like what you and Sean were talking about, how like, things are being put out like way before, they normally would be. And I mean, I think, what was it like? Is it this month that Starbucks is doing their pumpkin spice? They're
Yep.
already starting. We're not even
Yep.
close to fall yet, and they're already starting the pumpkin spice stuff. So,
Yeah.
Chris, I get you on that one. I really do. Because by the time middle of September comes around, they're going to start having the winter drinks.
Well, yeah, and that's the funny thing, Now, I'm not a big pumpkin spice fan as far as a flavor.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I like it, but
like during Christmas time, like during the like end of November, December, I'm more of kind of like a, I admit, I do go to Starbucks. I love the peppermint mocha.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like when it comes to like the winter, like especially when they do like the peppermint or the more wintry drinks. Yeah, I'm a sucker for those. I jump on them like, okay, yeah, these are good. I like these. I mean, like I like pumpkin spice, but I mean that's like a once every couple of weeks thing. But when the other seasonal stuff comes out, especially like I don't know, I always call them the Christmas flavors. When they hit, I'm like, yep, I'm going there to get that. So,
well, I'll tell you, man, the problem with pumpkin spice flavoring and stuff is, to me, it's always way too sweet. My wife last year, she showed up at the house with pumpkin spice donuts, and I tried one. I got through about half of one, and I was like, I can't do it, man. I felt like I needed a shot of insulin just eating half of that thing.
Yeah, no, I didn't. That's like you just said. I mean, that's the same thing with me. It's like it's really really sweet, and like I mean I mean I guess it all depends on how they make it too. If sometimes maybe they don't put in enough sweetener. Sometimes they overdo it, but when they overdo it, wow, it's like I mean, yeah, it's and then. I mean, it's kind of like,
that's automatic trash can for me when it's way too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and
Uh,
then
let's
like
see.
one of the other things that got me too is like I tried, somebody had bought some pumpkin spice creamer. I put that in my coffee one time and like I couldn't even that was too sweet. I was like, wow, that's massively overpowering. Like that's
Chris
rough.
just said something. Chris and Marcus both said something. Chris said that apple spice is much better, and I agree.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
One of my other favorite parts about fall is like HEB, which is like the local grocery chain here in Texas. You know, they always come out with like actual apple cider,
oh yeah,
and I drink that right there. One of these days, that's going to send me into like a diabetic coma because I will drink that stuff by the gallon
oh yeah.
once it starts coming out.
I'll get that stuff and I'll heat it up in a saucepan.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'll add a little extra clove and cinnamon.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'm like,
Marcus also mentioned something that is absolutely one of my favorite things, especially during the end of fall going into winter, and that is bread pudding. Yes.
oh, yeah, I love a good bread pudding.
Damn right. Damn right. Now, real quick, I wanted to I always try to throw in a little bit of public service announcement type thing into my shows. And I had somebody ask me the other day, they messaged me and they were like, look, man, my beard, I can't get my beard to grow no matter what I do. It's staying the same length. And, I had to ask them, are you drinking enough water? Yes, I'm drinking enough water. Are you taking a good supplement? Yes. Are you eating right? Yes. Are you sleeping good? Yes. This is what it comes down to. And I'm going to say this to all the guys that are over 40. If you are feeling sluggish, if your sex drive is low, if your beard isn't growing right, do yourself a favor and get tested for your testosterone level. Because testosterone levels will fuck up your world if they are low.
Yep. No, yeah, 100%. I take a testosterone booster myself. You know, I'm 46, and I realized like a few years ago, like I would sleep, like my machine was working, I'm getting good 6.5 to, some, 8 hours of sleep, just solid, good sleep. I'd wake up being like sluggish, like tired.
Oh, yeah.
And then so I went to the doctor and he said, well, he goes, if you want to, we can test your T levels. He goes, but he goes, if you want to, like go to like the, like the bodybuilding stores
or GNC or something.
Yeah. And, ask them about testosterone boosters. He goes, you can get those, take those like you're supposed to and see if that helps. And I started taking them and man, yeah, he wasn't lying. Like I feel like I do. I feel better, everything else.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely. Yeah. If y'all like listen to DL, if you're over 40 and hell, even if you're 35 or older, that's a good time to start, having that stuff checked. Yeah. Yeah. Because your T levels, they say start dropping when you hit right around 35.
They say that once you hit 40, your T levels can drop as much as 2 points a year.
Yeah, I heard that too. So
now, Marcus just asked, what's good supplement to take? Well, I'm going to tell you, Marcus, 3 things that I can't live without, and that is a good nitric oxide booster. You can get them at any GNC. It will help create more oxygen in your blood and create blood flow, which will help with everything from how you feel to, how your beard grows. The other thing I take is, and because I am over 50, I take a one a day vitamin plus 50 plus vitamin, and I also take collagen peptide. Collagen peptides, they not just help your beard and your skin, they help just about everything. So that would be my suggestion. And you know,
Yeah.
you mentioned, Marcus, about genetics. Yes, genetics are the most important thing when it comes to your beard, but there are things you can do to boost and give it the best chance to grow. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Chris, you had your Chris said he had his levels tested and he's still rocking. So, all right, there you go. I'm 56, man. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
So what else you got going on there, Delmer?
Man, I work. Like I work. It's like, most of my time, if I'm off, I'm trying my best. I want to see my kids. I want to see my grandkids. So that's what that's what I do. For today, I'm going to be lazy, not do a whole lot because, had a long drive, and I'm tired. I've been on a roller all this week because we're building a pad because they're adding to the plant at the mine out there. So we got to build a pad so they can lay some concrete down here eventually. So, and then tonight, I don't know if there's any wrestling fans here, but SummerSlam starts tonight. So that's what I'm going to be doing with my evening. I'm going to be watching WWE.
Now, it's funny because, and some people know, some people don't. I used to be a professional wrestler. And
Really? That's awesome.
I wrestled the independent circuit down here in Georgia for a while. Did it for about 3 years. And, I haven't watched wrestling in probably 10 years, but I do still like it. I mean, to me, it's whenever I think about wrestling, I just kind of harken back to, my childhood watching Piper's Pit and, all that old school stuff.
Oh yeah. That's the one thing I like about like Peacock is that, WWE has a thing with them and they have a lot of that old stuff. So you can go back and watch the old days of Hogan and Piper and, Ric Flair and, so it's pretty cool. I don't watch it like I used to. I would watch it almost every week, but I've just found that, the like Monday Night Raw and all that to me now, it's just, it's, I don't know, it's a lot of the same thing,
Yeah.
To me, there's too much talking. I want more wrestling. You say you're a wrestling company, so wrestle.
Wrestle.
Yep.
Now,
Kind of like the old NWA days back in the 80s, where there was some talking and some character stuff, but 80% of it was them in the ring actually doing the work. That's what I like to see more of. But
absolutely. Now, Marcus made a comment. I'm assuming he was basically saying that my wrestling name the Raging Leprechaun. No, no, it was not. I didn't have a full beard back then, so but yeah, man, wrestling has become more soap opera than action, and I'm just not into it as much.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch like a lot of the Raw stuff or even AEW Dynamite. Because there's too much talking now. Like when it comes to the pay-per-views or they call them PLEs now or whatever they call them. Those I will watch because it's almost there's some talking segments here and there, but it is mostly wrestling, and I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. So
Chris King,
Chris was talking about.
ECW.
He was talking about Goldberg too. So,
Well, I'm going to tell you my honest opinion on Goldberg is one of the worst wrestlers on the face of the planet.
I never.
And I'll tell you why.
They rushed him. That's what I always thought. They rushed him into the spotlight.
He was from all accounts, and I've talked to people who have wrestled him, he was one of the worst in-ring guys to work with because he worked so stiff and he was prone to hurt people.
Yeah. I mean, Bret Hart's the best example, because he wasn't careful with that kick that he did. He caught Bret full force in the forehead with it, and that was the end of it. Bret Hart never wrestled again because of it.
Well, when I would do house shows, I got to work with a couple of the, names that people know. And, I became friends with some people and, everybody I talked to said the same thing. And that was Goldberg. If you wrestle him, you're going to get hurt, but
yeah.
And you're right. They rushed him. They went, "Ooh, here's a guy who's a beast. Let's pump him up and throw him out there." And pardon my French, he fucked up a lot of guys.
Yeah, I've read that the way he wrestled and but he also hurt himself a lot too. Like if I was watching an interview with DDP one time. And he was talking about that the heavyweight title match they had at like Halloween Havoc or something like that.
Yeah.
Goldberg went so hard into him with the spear that when Goldberg went down with him, he hit his head on the mat and knocked himself freaking silly. And the rest of the match was all messed up because he was in a fog because he didn't know how to slow down.
Yep. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know if you heard. You remember Buff Bagwell, Marcus Bagwell?
I do, yeah.
He's from Marietta, Georgia, and I know him. Not well. I know him enough. In passing. He just had to have his leg amputated.
I saw that. I saw that. Man.
He just had to have his leg amputated due to a car wreck he had like 3 years ago. So, that's
that's rough.
Yes, sir.
Now he was somebody that I felt could have been like a bigger star than he was. They just never. I don't know what it was. Of course, now that the business is, the way they talk about it now, nothing's really guarded. And, they always talk about how like backstage, he wasn't that grand of a person and that, he probably shot himself more in the foot than anything kept him from getting up to where, he probably should have been. Because I remember him in the early 90s. And I mean, man, he was a good wrestler in the early 90s. But
real quick, Marcus, no, I don't know either one of those guys. Taylor McKnight, and John Gresham. No, but with Bagwell, unfortunately, he was his own worst enemy. He became quite a heavy drinker. He had quite a few arrests for DUIs, public intoxication and, domestic disturbances, stuff like that. But, he started to turn his life around. And the thing that's sad is right when he's starting to get back on track and, as a person, he loses his leg, man. So prayers out, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
Everybody has their faults. Everybody has, pasts that, or parts of their past that they're not proud of. And you know, when something like that happens, that's rough, and I don't wish that on anybody.
No, I don't either. I don't either because it's weird, you know, because they say, you know, that, you know, like you said, backstage he was, you know, so-so, but I've watched interviews with him since he's been away from it. And I mean, he always, like the interview wise, he always came off like a really solid dude. So, you know,
Right.
maybe after everything and he got himself, you know, like you said, it was getting himself straight. And then of course it always seems to be that way, right? You finally get yourself on the right track and then something comes in and like takes your knees out from you. Like, well, now you're
Yes,
doing
sir.
too good. So let me, you know, do something else to you real quick.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because you know, at one point I was, you know, I was not in a great place, and I just started getting myself back on track, and I ended up having a massive stroke.
Damn.
You know, uh, it, it happens, man. It's you know, I'm not to get too spiritual, but you know, to me, that's a higher power saying, "Hey, slow the fuck down."
Yeah.
You know, but let's see. Let me check out these Ray and Ultimo Dragons. Yes, sir. Uh, yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. It's about time to wrap this up. First and foremost, I appreciate everybody who tuned in, all 6 of you. And, you know, I appreciate the fact that y'all are, you know, interacting in the comments, man. That's always good. Delmer, congratulations, man. Scallywag of the week. Go to the Bearded Scallywags website, pick you out your coffee mug, and let Sean know what you want, and he'll have it sent out to you. And you know, we appreciate you, brother, and everything you do in the group.
Well,
And
like I said, I appreciate y'all too, man. You guys are solid people, good people. So,
we
you
try.
know, I mean, like at the beginning, well, I mean, I know sometimes it's hard, but you guys, you really are. So I know at the beginning of the year, I was kind of going through it and I had taken a break and, all I got from like the group, everybody, you, Sean, Paul Sellers was, you can DM me if you need to. If you need to talk, just let me know. And he goes, other than that, it was like, just take care. And then when I came back after about a month and a half, it was nothing but positive encouragement. And so,
Yep.
really, deep down, I appreciate that because, I didn't have a whole lot of that, when, stuff was going on. So that helped a lot. So I thank you for it.
Amen, brother. And Chris, thank you. I'm glad to be back amongst the living. Marcus, you have a great morning. Have a kick-ass day. Everybody who showed up, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday and a great weekend. Let me just remind y'all, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Demented Show, Chris Lopp, Funky Brims, going to be a kick-ass time. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I hope each and every one of you has a blessed and badass day. Delmer, you keep it real, my man. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. You do the same. Phil, Marcus, Chris, seeing your guys' comments morning, but y'all have a good day. Be good. Stay scally.
Absolutely. Peace.
Wake up!